Hi, this is Raymond Rose. Thanks for joining me today. I know your time is valuable. I do appreciate you spending the next few minutes with me. Hey, I was a guest speaker at a seminar recently. It was a time management seminar. And the one common complaint that everybody in the group said was that they were just busy all the time. There wasn't enough hours in a day. At the end of the day, they were stressed out. They were anxious. They couldn't relax. They weren't able to connect, properly with their family members. They couldn't sleep at night. Their mind was racing all the time. And I'm going to share with you exactly what I said to them, because as somebody that has focused on time management over the last 40 years of my life, in my opinion, it's a very simple issue to resolve. And I'm going to start off by this. Imagine this. If you've listened to my podcast before, you may have heard this before, but please stay with me. One of the analogies I like to use in situations like this is my children when they were younger. They had a toy box, and every one of their toys that they owned had to fit in this toy box. It was pretty simple. And if they wanted a new toy, they had to either make room in their toy box for the new toy, or they had to consider taking a toy or two out of their current toy box in order to make room for their new toy. So in other words, they were constantly analyzing, do they want this new toy more than the toys that they need to get rid of out of their toy box? How are they going to manage all those different pieces together? Because the bottom line was everything had to fit in the toy box, and if it didn't fit, they either had to give it away or donate it or something. So if you can understand what I just shared with you, it's the same thing regarding your day. You have 24 hours in a day to determine what's going to fit into that little box. You can't schedule 28 hours. You can't commit to doing things for others that aren't going to fit into that 24-hour block. So one of the suggestions I'm going to have with you is that every Saturday morning or Sunday morning or whatever, figure out a spot where you're going to spend an hour of your time. Maybe it's only a half hour, but you're going to plan your week. You're going to look at your calendar. You're going to turn the calendar sideways so that you can see Sunday through Saturday in a glance, knowing that you've got 24 hours, 24 different blocks of time each particular day for 168 hours that you're going to be able to schedule time in there so that you're not going to be putting yourself in a position where you're overscheduling. So the first thing I'm going to suggest that you do is you need to be able to say the word no. You're going to constantly be getting invitations to go out and have fun with your friends, maybe a dinner, maybe your boss is going to ask you to do certain things that you're just not going to have time in your schedule, and I'm going to share with you exactly how to get around that. But understand the fact that you've only got 24 hours in a day, and that part of that 24 hours, this is important what I'm going to share with you, you need to look at exactly what absolutely has to be in that schedule of hours every day. So for example, I know myself, when I'm scheduling my week, and I'm looking at every single day, I know right off the bat that I'm going to sleep 8 hours of that 24 hours. Now, you might say, oh, I'm going to take that for granted. But for me, I want 8 hours of sleep. Not 6, not 5, but 8. So number one, because I have learned as I've gotten older that sleep is a superpower. You need sleep. Your body needs it. Your heart needs it. Your brain needs it. If you think you're going to shortchange your sleep, it's terrible, because your body is not going to react properly. And all different parts of your routine can easily fall apart if you're not being able to stay mentally focused and your body's not staying on track. So number one, I sleep 8 hours a day. Number two, for me, I know that I put an hour of my day in toward getting some walking in, maybe doing a little cardio, maybe I'm just doing some jumping jacks, I'm doing a plank, I'm doing a few crunches. I know that my body, if I want my mind and my heart to stay alert and stay focused for the long term, I know that my body needs time to exercise. And if you're not spending time of your day every day doing some type of cardio or walking or whatever, building your muscles, longer term, I think it's going to come back to haunt you. So I put an hour in my schedule every single day for exercise. I know that I need about a half hour a day for grooming. I need about a half hour a day for eating. So to recap that real quick, 8 hours of sleeping, an hour of exercise, and an hour of grooming and eating, that means that's 10 hours of my day that is in my schedule every single day. And that's for my own personal well-being, which means I still have 14 hours left out of a 24-hour day. Now, from that 14 hours, I know that I'm going to schedule some time in there for myself. maybe some alone time. Maybe I want to read a book. Maybe I want to sit by the beach. Maybe I want to take a walk in nature or whatever. And I'm going to schedule some time in there for the important people in my life. Maybe my spouse, my children, my other family and friends that are really, really close to me. I'm going to put that right in my schedule. Maybe you're working. Maybe you're going to school. You're working 8 hours a day, or you're commuting 30 minutes back and forth to work or back and forth to school or study time or whatever. I'm blocking that off right in my schedule. And once those blocks are in there, like I said, imagine it's a 24-piece jigsaw puzzle. You can't put 28 pieces in a 24-piece jigsaw puzzle. You need to be able to do that. So by blocking off and looking at your schedule in such a way, and then learning that you've only got so much time left, that if you want to get involved in a civic organization, or you have a hobby that you want to be involved with, or how much yard work are you going to do, or do you have to change the brakes on your car this weekend or whatever, by using that system I'm sharing with you right now, I can guarantee you that your week, your day, every single month, whatever, is going to be based on exactly how you're setting it up. And I see, and as I talked about at the group seminar, is that people were not taking enough time in their daily schedule to make sure that they had enough me time, or that they had enough time to relax and be idle, or just do whatever they want, personal entertainment. They were just scheduling themselves with so many different things that they just didn't have the time to relax, and consequently, that's where the high levels of stress and anxiety come in. So I would strongly urge you to take the advice I just gave you, take some notes, listen to this podcast again, and figure out what you need to do to stop being busy. Figure out what you need to do to make sure you've got enough time to sleep, enough time to exercise, enough time to spend with yourself, enough time to spend with your loved ones. And then from there, the time that's left over is what you're doing, spending from a working point of view. Maybe you're working too many hours. Maybe your commute is too long. Maybe, and one of the things I had said to you is, if your boss is telling you to do something, and how do you say no to your boss? I mean, I had no problems with this. I always kept a running list of what my priorities were when I was working before I retired. I always knew at every given day what I was going to work on because of what my priorities were. And I always had 8 hours of work or 9 hours of work built in. If my boss came to me and said, listen, I need you to start working on this, on this new project, I would say, fine, I will absolutely do that. But hey, boss, these are the other things you've told me to work on. I only have so many hours in a day. If you want me to work on this new project, what do you want me to stop working on? Or what do you want me to lower on my priority list? I'll do whatever you want me to do, boss. But again, there's only so many hours in a day, and I have responsibilities to my health, to my family, and to other issues besides my job. So that's how I was able to resolve that. So that's it. The bottom line is, like I said at the very beginning of this podcast, what is your desired outcome on living on this earth? What specifically are you trying to accomplish? I know this. I've heard this from my boss back in the day. He'd say to me all the time, Raymond, you don't want to be on your deathbed, because when you are there, you're not going to be sitting there saying, oh, I wish I worked more hours. Oh, I wish I gave more time to my company. No. You're going to say, I wish I had more time for myself. I wish I had spent more time with my family and friends. I wish I had more time just to relax in life. So that's my goal here. These are the things I shared with the group during my time management seminar. Stop being busy. Figure out what your priorities are. Put them right into your schedule. Stop overcommitting. Realize that there's only 24 hours in a day. You're not Superman. You're not Superwoman. Take time for yourself. Take time for your loved ones. So that's it for today. I'm hoping you got a little bit out of this. Listen to this again if you have to. Take some notes. If you're a first-time listener to my podcast, I appreciate you joining me. I make podcasts like this every single day. I'm focused on 4 subjects, the things that I think are important for everybody. We all want excellent health. We all want lots of free time. We all want lots of money. And we all want to have excellent habits. Please consider subscribing to my podcast. Hit the black subscribe button. If you thought there was some good information here, please share this podcast with your family and friends. As you know, there's no videos to watch. There's nothing to distract you. Just focus on my words. I get to the point. I'm very blunt. I don't want to waste your time. And with that said, lastly, if there's any comments, critique me, please let me know. Until tomorrow, this is Raymond Rose. Thanks for tuning in.